Right. You're close up on here all the time.
Do you ever want a single?
Tight two, no, just tight. Yes, otherwise it's gonna be in Cleveland.
That's the secret of his
Secret. That's right.
his longevity.
We don't do too many close-ups.
He's avoided the close-ups.
It scares the.
Not
That's
as
right.
easy as it looks, is it?
Scares the public.
That's right.
I don't do that.
And you can lean ever so slightly to your left. We'll see.
Oh, left.
Right.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes. Okay. And I'll sit up too, like a good boy. Now are we ready? Redo the time. Okay. Here we go. What's this about coming to Nashville? First of all, you're moving to my city for a while to do a movie.
Well, I think that we're shooting some of the Green Mile around there.
That's what I hear.
That's what
Someone
I've been
said you had
told.
rented a house and all this stuff, but this is such small details.
Calm down, everybody. Calm down. I don't know. It's not till later on in the fall. I'm not even sure when, and I don't know. I'll probably be staying in one of those cheesy motels on the outskirts of town.
Now, what would you do in a movie shoot? Do you like stay off to yourself, or will you be going to the Opry on the weekends with us, or what do you do?
Well, you know, it's the best thing about truly the best way is to go off and work in the place for a while. As a tourist, you'd be at the get out the guidebooks and what should we do today? Where's Elvis's house?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not here. That's in another city. Oh, we thought it was here. So by the very fact that I'll be working there, I'll hopefully be able to sneak off and enjoy some genuine moments.
All right, we'll try to track you down and see where this place
I
is,
tell you
'cause
what,
I'll find you.
You have your network of spies looking.
We'll find you. Won't be any doubt about that. All right, you were kind of like, I'm getting reports that you were like the real Forrest Gump in this movie, that you, during this boot camp thing that they're all talking about, you were Mr. Wonderful. I mean, nothing could get you down. No bullet was made for you. You didn't need to sleep. You could stay up for 2 weeks. You're kind of a macho guy.
That's me. That's all absolutely true, and just believe everything you read. I had the experience of doing this before with Dale Dye on Forrest Gump, so I had been through a bit of the Dale Dye school of turning actors into soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
So I knew what to expect, and I don't think the other guys really quite did. I thought, okay, we're going to go out in the woods for a week. Okay, they weren't quite prepared for, this silver-haired man to be constantly screaming at them and staying up as late as we did.
So you knew.
Yeah, it was long and it was cold, and also it was our rehearsal. That's really what it was. Without that, we would have just been stumbling around in equipment that we weren't familiar with, trying to do tactics that we don't know, and it would have looked really, really fake and dumb. As it was, we were ready for the scene long before the camera was. We were familiar with pretty much everything. So
I'm sure you're getting this. This first 30 minutes of this movie wears you out as an audience member. Was it pretty wearing you out as a actor as well?
Well, it was both fascinating and horrifying all at the same time. For all of us read the screenplay, and the first 30 pages is Omaha Beach. Mm-hmm. That, in hypothetical circumstances, that's going to be a pretty neat thing. But then when you get there, and you see, I mean, the cliffs and the concrete bunkers and the amount of ships that are out in the ocean, and you got about 500 extras who are all dressed up just like you are. It becomes this really big thing. And they're also recreating this carnage that's all around you that is hard to take for the first 3 or 4 days. Yeah. You just can't believe you're stepping over this stuff in order to get there. For the first scene I was in, the 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of guys got blown to bits in the landing craft that I was in. And that was my first shot. I went up and found the rest of the guys and said, hold on to your hats, man. You're not going to believe the stuff that we're doing down there. And it just kept up that same intensity for the 3 weeks that we were there.
Are your children going to see you in this movie?
Some of them will, yeah. The younger ones won't.
Because it's too much, isn't it? What Stephen says, driver's license. You need to have a driver's license.
Well, I have to tell you, in all honesty, there's some 8-year-old kids that need to see Saving Private Ryan because they've been entertaining themselves with games like Mortal Kombat or stuff like that, in which they laugh when somebody gets their head kicked off and blood spurts out of their bloody stump. They need to see a movie like Saving Private Ryan because it just might confuse them as to what really happens when a hot piece of metal passes through human flesh. But there's a lot of kids that shouldn't.
Yeah,
it's rated R for a reason.
For a reason, isn't it? We've talked about this before. You're a big fan of the Discovery Channel. Watch these war things. I mean, was it always kind of a dream of yours to be in some type of World War II movie, or did you have to think about that?
Well, I wanted to be in the right kind of World War II movie. And there's a lot of opportunities out there to do other kinds of things, but I wasn't interested in being in just essentially an action film with a World War II setting. There's nothing to be gained by doing that. That doesn't get to examine any particular kind of theme or aspect of the human condition that is interesting. What was great about Saving Private Ryan was that here was this very recognizable story find the guy, send him home. Everything else that we did after that would either make it more authentic or less authentic, depending on the work that we wanted to do. So I got to say that all of us, all the cast members, at one point or another, were looking at each other saying, "Can you believe we're in this big World War II movie? They don't even make these movies anymore." And yet there we were.
Now, after this one, I think Hollywood has like 5 in the pipeline, other kinds of World War II films. What do you think this is that we're all of a sudden going to discover that war?
Well, everything old becomes new again after a while. They get around to everything, but it's still going to live and die under its own capabilities. I mean, Terry Malick is making The Thin Red Line, which I know that's going to be fascinating because it's going to be examining some themes that usual war movies don't. But there's an awful lot of other stuff in the pipeline that I can tell you right now. They're just action-adventure movies.
Stuff, yeah.
It's just, a different brand of, what causes the explosion.
I was reading the biography of Tom Hanks.
Yeah, yeah.
This is like obit material.
Oh,
stuff.
it's all lies.
It really
Yeah,
is. But I mean, it's
yeah.
the beginning and the beginning, the middle, and the now of Tom Hanks. And the last 10 years for you really have been pretty wild. I mean, you got married about 10 years ago or
Yes,
so.
I did, 1988.
To Rita, and then your life has been all over the place in 10 years, hasn't it?
Yeah, been fun.
Top of the mountain, kind of some weird things.
A couple of bottom of the mountain trips as
couple
well.
of
yeah.
the bonfire episode, but I mean, you've had to how would you describe the last 10 years?
A decade of chance. There's been some really great stuff and some really, but ultimately, look, I have a really good job. It's really fun every day. There's a lot of pressure to it, but I try not to let that affect the things that are truly important in this world. And what's much more important is that I used to only have 2 kids, and now I have 4, and they're all growing up to be pretty funny, well balanced individuals, and that's in spite of the fact that I was in Bonfire of the Vanities or Forrest Gump.
But after once in a while, you have to kind of pinch yourself and say, golly, here I am at Barbara Streisand's wedding, and Steven Spielberg is a friend of mine. That must be pretty cool stuff, to consider what you've gone through to get to this point.
You kind of can't believe that, but it's like, hey, it's a wedding, Hey, Barbara, why didn't you have this out of the Ritz-Carlton in Pasadena?
Did you do the limbo at the wedding?
Andre, I haven't been photographed to do it.
No, I can't tell
I got
all we
news
know.
for you. Don't you do the limbo pretty much at every wedding?
Almost everyone I go
Pretty
to.
much
But I know
so.
you do at all your weddings.
Yeah,
They're
we
all
pretty much do.
limbo-oriented things. Will Tom Hanks, the director, rear his head again soon?
Well, I hope so. I want to, but I'm not about to do it unless I truly have enough confidence and hubris to say I'm the guy to do this again.
Did you learn anything from Steven?
Yes.
Was it kind of like going to school? Although you'd
Shoot
had the
fast.
experience already.
Yeah, but there were 4 directors in this cast, guys who said, "Oh yes, I'm a director. I've directed a film," and we all looked at each other and said, "I'll never be slow again. Stephen is fast, fast, fast. And he doesn't question logic. He just gets it, and if it works, great. If not, he's got other things that'll happen." So if I do it again, I hope not to waste as many people's time as I did last time.
You still go to movies? Do you go to a lot of movies? Do you see a lot of stuff?
Yeah, I try to see everything. Yeah.
Did you go see Armageddon and those in the summer kind of movies?
I haven't
You
been
had
able
time
to
to
see
see summer
Armageddon
movies
yet.
yet.
It just comes out. It just came out. But no, I've seen most of the a good chunk of the things.
Yeah, I was wondering. Sometimes I don't wonder if the film critics understand. They'll understand this movie. This is a movie built for a lot of criticism. Good. If they understand summer movies are supposed to be for fun sometimes.
Well, the thing is that I don't understand how anybody can say, look, hey, this is why are they releasing a movie? This is supposed to be summertime. Good movies are good movies, period, the end. It doesn't matter if they come out in June or, or September. I think a weird thing that happens is the actual medium that decries the fact that there is this kind of merchandising ploy, demographic kind of manipulation based on the media will then play into their hands and say things like, hey, this is just time for popcorn movies. I got news for you. Right about the 3rd week of June, I want to see something that's going to be a unique, thought-provoking film because I've seen enough of the other kind of stuff that's out there.
I agree, Mr. Tom.
There
Thank
you go.
Captain Miller, you did a hell of a job.
Well, thank you. God bless you.
All right.